What's going on, everybody? My name is Dylan. I do GOAT content here on YouTube. Well, we'll be here soon because I don't think this will be the first video that's going up. But yeah, I wanted to bring you all my my XYZ return deck today because I think this deck is very fun. I've been playing it for about a month now, and it's got legs. It's I think it does very crazy things. It can play a very good grind game. And it also can pop off very strongly if you can get enough stuff banished. There are some tweaks I'd like to make to the deck, so I'll probably upload an updated one here in a month or so. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the card by card. All right, so starting off, we're playing some XYZ cards. So we're playing 3 X-Head, 2 Y, and then 2 Z. The reason why I'm playing 3 of this and 2 of each of these is because we're playing Shining Angel. So pretty much these cards have, there's pretty much 5 copies of this card, of each of these cards. This card's unsearchable, so this card's just more like a draw that you need to make it to. So this card turns to 36 with limiter removal, so you can beat over anything in the format. I've debated bumping Z up to, what's it called, up to 3. Because X and Z make the best fusion in the format, or the best fusion out of the 4 of these.
He's the one that pops set spell traps, right?
Yeah, XZ pops set spell traps. What's it called? YZ pops set monsters. The worst one being XY pops face-up spell traps. And then XYZ is just Raigeki Break. Another really stupid thing about these cards that I really don't like, I kind of don't like them for, is that they have to be like one in their own. So like if you have this and you have this, you can't just make this. You have to, what's it called? You have to have each piece to make these.
It'd be kind of cracked if you could do it that way, though. I wish you could.
I wish you could too, which is why I play the deck. But yeah, so that's it for the XYZs. The other machines that we're playing in the deck is Triple to Koichi. This deck is kind of just knock proof, because if they knock to Koichi, you just return it from a different dimension, and then you have 3,200, 4,200 on board. And then with a limiter, that's just an OTK. Oh yeah,
with that card, that's actually just lethal. Yeah.
And then we're also playing a Jinzo, because this card shuts down hand control. This card shuts down a predominant amount of our meta, because I want to say probably like 6 or 8 people that we play with regularly play Pitch Chaos. So this card, 1 being a machine, 2 being a dark, and 3 just being an absolute like meta killer in our area at least. And you know, we're playing lights and darks, so obviously may as well just play 2 chaos monsters. I thought about playing 2 chaos Sork. I messed around with it a little bit online. I didn't like it. It just ends up being kind of cloggy since our dark count is a lot lower than our light count, which is usually a problem that chaos decks have. Is usually they don't go super heavy on lights. So like Haiku can just kind of like destroy them, because like you just banish their lights and it's just kind of...
This one does have a lot more with the XYZ pieces.
It does. Light. This deck plays 11 lights and like 9 darks, or 8 darks. So having these just 1 and 1, not terrible. BLS can end out games very well, especially against like Pac-Man, just banishing out like camels and stuff like that so that they can't pot a greed every turn. And then for other support cards, this card may as well just be an XYZ piece. This card's constantly summoning out Y Metal Tanks, Z Dragon Heads, and then, or whichever one's which. And then also Warrior Lady we're playing as a target for this. So, yeah, this card's insane. I wish this card could be played at 4. Like, this card's actually just amazing. And then other support cards we're just playing. Sinister's insane with the fusions, because it's a free discard every turn. Cyberjar really makes his deck tick. Like resolving a Cyberjar and hitting 3 monsters. Like 3 monsters, instant, that's basically just an instant fusion. And then if you have return set, that's another fusion. So those cards can go kind of nuts. Sangan searches every card in this deck outside of 6. So
you don't search X, and that's about it.
Yeah, no, you don't search X, you don't search the Chaos Monsters, you don't search Jinzo, and then you don't search Breaker. Every other card in this deck, this card can search. So, yeah. Warrior Lady, just an amazing removal piece on legs. Shining Angel can tutor it out, so there's routes where you can, if you know that you can survive through like a board state, you can like Angel into Warrior Lady, or you can like Angel into a piece if you have another one to make a fusion. And then obviously Breaker, Having that pry out a gain counter, pretty fun.
Is that the end of the monster lineup?
That is all of the monsters currently.
Would you consider Night Assailant?
No.
How come?
There isn't enough flips in the deck to really like support it. The only flip we're playing realistically that we want to just like, so like we can banish Cyberjar to like summon a chaos piece and not care. Dekoichi ends up in the banish because people knock it all the time because it's the predominant thing that you say.
It can add itself back though if you have a second copy. So if you play 2, you can infinitely discard off XYZ.
Right, but you got to remember we have to have that set up.
Yeah,
we can't just discard one off of it and just not add anything.
Yeah, it might be neg the first time if you don't have a setup, but then if you draw into the second, it's like you can wreck the whole board state. But I can see why not play it too.
So that's it for the monsters. Going into the spells, obviously we're playing the Trinity. I thought about cutting this card. Shout out to George Nace. Me and you argue on this all the time. This card is not as good as people make it out to be. Obviously, it's good. I want to upload a video talking about why this card could probably be cut out of a lot of the meta decks, but eventually that'll come out. These cards are just insane. Never play less than one of each of them in each deck. If you do, you're wrong.
Never play more either, or you'll get called out for cheating.
Don't get caught at least. And then other spells we're playing. 2 limiter. It's a machine deck. You got to play limiter. Return plus limiter is just like almost always infinite OTK. There was a game that we played. I was playing. Zabe was playing Pac-Man. I was playing XYZ Return, and I just like normal summoned a Z Metal Tank, attacked over his 2 Pac-Man monsters, and dropped a double limiter. It was fun.
Yeah.
Metal Tank coming in for the win. 2 knock. Because flips suck, and there are times where I can knock my own Dekoichi when I have return set, and then summon it back just to like kick my opponent's face in. And then 2 book. We're playing Dekoichi. We're playing Cyberjar. Penelope. Book is also just a really good removal piece in this format. Kind of like protecting your monsters, setting your opponents so that they don't get their effects. Like booking Chaos Orcs, booking BLSs. Just a really good interaction point at that stage. And then other 1-0 spells are playing, just the other like generic ones. Snatch, Prima, kind of self-explanatory. A lot of people don't play heavy anymore. People in my area suck, so they play into heavy a lot. And they're not playing Judgment, so like they're just wrong on many aspects, but they'll get there.
Heavy them one enough times that they'll start setting less.
Right. Back row was a very big problem for this deck, especially like Sakuratsu's, Judgments, and then like pitch traps that Chaos will play now, like Raigeki Break, Phoenix Wing. Like, don't get me wrong, it's fun drawing cards in this deck, but having to draw them a second time is not good. And then going on to the traps, 2 return. I don't want to max out on this card. I see it enough at 2. When I need it, I find it. When I don't need it, I'll still have it in my hand to discard. And then other 1-of traps we're playing, just like the Trinity. And then I also play Call, because Call plus Jinzo is just like infinite.
Also helps you get your pieces back, right? Like you can call back an X, summon Z combo.
Yeah, so like if we have to like discard one off of Graceful or off of a machine, off of one of the fusions, we can always just get them back. And then obviously this deck can play an extra deck, but you know, it's always just fusions. So yeah, that's it for that profile. Thank you all so much for watching. A couple of shout outs. Shout out to Zaid for being my cameraman and filming a bunch of GOAT content with me today. I love you, buddy.
I love you too.
Shout out to TCG for loaning me this table because I just moved and I didn't have a fucking table for my house. Shout out to the Yugi Bros, our Facebook group. Shout out to Sean Hartman and Zach Spitzer, my local speed doing old format content buddies. And just shout out to my boys. Thank you all so much for watching today. Coming at you soon with another one.